Hello, thank you for joining us on the news. I'm Ruth Aguwele. Let's start with the headlines. Vice President Shatima restates commitment to promote Nigeria's rich cultural heritage. Senate confirms ministerial nominees as ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Plus, Botswana holds presidential polls. We'll begin with legislative affairs. Senate has screened and confirmed 7 nominees as ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as requested by President Tinubu. The nominees who have already been assigned their portfolios comprise 4 men and 3 women. During the screening, which lasted 6 hours, the lawmakers raised questions relating to the designated portfolios of the ministers and expressed the hope that they would bring their knowledge and experience to bear in the national assignment. By this confirmation, the number of ministers in the cabinet stands at 47. The House of Representatives has invited the Federal Ministry of Environment, the National Emergency Management Agency, and the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency to brief Parliament on precautionary measures to safeguard lives and property in flood-prone zones across the country. Sequel to a motion of urgent public importance, lawmakers insist that flood alerts must be accompanied by proactive mitigation measures in view of recent prediction of heavy rainfall in 22 states and the FCT.
Relevant authorities immediately implement strategies to mitigate the predicted disaster, including evacuation plans, provision of relief materials, and ensuring post-flood recovery efforts are coordinated effectively.
Correspondent Mitaire Ikben reports that the House passed for second reading a bill seeking the creation of a federal constituency in Nasarawa State.
Alter the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, to carve out Nasarawa Egon Federal Constituency from Akwanga Nasarawa Egon Wamba Federal Constituency and other related matters be read for the second time.
Bill referred to the Committee on Constitutional Review.
Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, wants member countries under UNESCO and stakeholders in media and information literacy around the globe to support the country's efforts at establishing a UNESCO Category 2 International Media and Information Literacy Institute in Nigeria. The minister stated this through his special assistant, Dr. Sunday Baba, at the ministerial panel session at the 13th edition of the Global Media and Information Literacy Week in Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. The minister outlined the numerous efforts being made by the Nigerian government to advance media and information literacy initiatives in the country and around the world. In a statement, Okereke Ifeanyi, the Deputy Director, UNESCO at the ministry, said the minister reaffirmed that Nigeria was instrumental to the birth of the current celebration of Global Media and Information Literacy Week, when it hosted the first edition of the UNESCO Media and Information Global Alliance in 2003, which metamorphosed into Gmail Week, as well as other initiatives. On his part, UNESCO's Assistant Director General, Communication and Information, Dr. Taufik Jalazi, explained that the world currently, in the world where the world is facing a complex reality where truth coexists side by side with lies and misinformation, adding that media and information literacy has been identified as a potential tool to combat misinformation in all its forms. In other news, Nigeria has made significant progress towards the protection of its natural world since the adoption of the Kunming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. At COP16 in Colombia, former Minister of State for Environment, now Minister of State for Health, Dr. Isiaq Adekunle Salako, did not only tell the conference of certain steps Nigeria is taking to protect the nature, but also demanded a delivery of the $20 billion in biodiversity finance to the global south. Charles Alpha reports.
Global community committed in Target 19A of the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework to allocate at least $20 billion per year by 2025 and $30 billion per year by 2030 to developing countries for nature finance. And delivering $20 billion in biodiversity finance to the global south for Nigeria is a modest step in the right direction, as it fears the world is clearly not on track to achieving these commitments. Minister of State for Health, Dr. Isiaq Adekunle Salako, while presenting Nigeria's progress report at COP16 in Colombia, said the country is reaching the completion of the adoption of an updated national biodiversity strategies and action plans, which provides a clear and ambitious roadmap towards the preservation and recovery of its natural resources.
The president of my country, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is determined to ensure that Nigeria continues to play its role in honoring multilateral environmental agreements without compromising the sovereignty of the country. We must act now, and we must be bold if we have any hope of preserving our planet, our people, and our future.
He said while Nigeria is doing everything it can because countries are clearly running out of time, its ecosystem, he reported, are being drained of their ability to support mankind and cannot be passive spectators as the crisis unfolds. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
The federal government is ready to adopt the green building solutions to tackle issues of climate change in Nigeria. Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, gave the assurance while declaring open a two-day engagement workshop with Green Building Nigeria Lead International Finance Corporation in Abuja. Francis Udojo reports.
Nigeria's determining contributions to reduce greenhouse emissions by 2020 is a welcome development to the Ministry of Housing and collaborators, as buildings, which contributes about 40% of its mandate, is taken into consideration. The workshop, therefore, is to enhance the knowledge and capacity of staff and stakeholders in the housing sector in adopting processes and best practices that will enhance green building.
Not just here to learn today, we're here to set a standard by way of embracing these practices into our projects. And we at the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development want to set an example for other ministries, agencies, and even private sector to ensure that all our buildings meet the green buildings standards.
If, for example, you want to build and you're thinking of electricity, you want to make sure that you put renewable types of power in place to be able to help you reduce your impact on the climate. In terms of the materials that you use for the building, you want to be conscious of the carbon element of that material.
During the technical session, experts advocated reduction in embodied carbon materials used in building, as well as energy, and avoid waste waters to help reduce the greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. In Abuja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
China, we hear, has reaffirmed commitment towards strengthening partnership with Nigeria in order to enhance the growth of the nation's education sector. Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Yu Dunhei, said these are the inauguration of the Chinese Corner and 2024 Nihaho China Painting Competition Awards ceremony held in Abuja. Chukunanso Nwabueze reports.
Education and cultural exchange programs have over the years played and continue to play a vital role in fostering cordial relations between Nigeria and China. The inauguration of this 12th Chinese Corner at the Government Secondary School, Wuse Zone 3, Abuja, Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Yu Dunhei, said is another bold step towards enhancing the mutual relationship between Nigeria and China.
I believe that country-to-country relations eventually boil down to people-to-people relations. And students is the future of the country. Education, I think, holds the key for the development of any country. So that's why China, I think we would be very much like to be great partners with Nigeria in the education sector.
The collaboration between Chinese Embassy and the FCT Secondary Education Board has been that of mutual benefit to both countries.
Having been adjudged the overall best from entries from the 12 Chinese corner schools within the FCT, Muhammad Abdul Kadri of Rahma School, Suleja, and Chidera Obu of GSS Jabi emerged joint winners of the 2024 Nihao China Painting Competition.
I feel so happy and excited. All the hard work, all the effort as Christy, I won first position and I'm so excited.
Existing in 12 selected secondary schools in the FCT, the Chinese corner not only serves as a resource center for Chinese education, but also as a hub for cultural exchange between Nigeria and China. Chukunonsonwa Bueze, NTA News.
Reports just reaching says President Bola Tinubu has appointed Major General Olufemi Olatunbosu Oluyede as the acting Chief of Army Staff. Oluyede will act in the position pending the return of the indisposed substantive Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja. Until his appointment, Oluyede served as the 56th Commander of the Elite Infantry Corps of the Nigerian Army based in Jaji, Kaduna. The 56-year-old Oluyede and Lagbaja were classmates and members of the 39th Regular Course. He was commissioned a second lieutenant in 1992, effective from 1987. He rose to Major General in September 2020. In other news, Hungary's Minister of Home Affairs and Justice, representing the presidency of the Council of the European Union and the European Commission, represented by European Commissioners for Home Affairs and Justice, have reaffirmed the strong regional commitment and close cooperation on justice and home affairs. The meeting, attended by representatives of the European External Action Service and AU agencies, is meeting in Budva, Montgero. Hamman Jabani will tell us more.
The European Union and the Western Balkans reiterated their commitment to strengthen irregular migration, reinforce the protection of borders, and fight immigrant smuggling in line with the Global Alliance to curb the menace, discussed recent development about digitization of justice and held an exchange of views on the opportunities and the main challenges of the potential of using interoperable solutions and new digital technologies, including artificial intelligence. They acknowledged the progress made on the implementation of the EU Action Plan on the Western Balkans, represented by the Commission in December 2022, agreed to continue strengthening cooperation to counter regional and transnational crime organized network involved in illicit trafficking, including migrant smuggling and trafficking in humans, drugs, and firearms trafficking. It resolved that joint effort will therefore continue, especially through Europol and within the European multidisciplinary platforms against criminal threats.
We need to be open and communicating with one another all the time. One of the most recent developments here is on the transfer of criminal proceedings. New rules here will ensure that the best placed member state investigates or prosecutes a criminal offence rather than many and at once.
Parties also reiterated their commitment to strengthening judicial cooperation in criminal matters, with a focus on enhancing investigations and prosecution to achieve conviction in cases with cross-border elements, in particular concerning the fight against organized crime. Western Balkans partners were encouraged to improve the effectiveness of their response to transnational organized crimes, while improving cooperation between different jurisdictions and ensuring the rights of victims of crime in line with the EU acquis and international standards. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
We'll take a break now. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
We all get that party where they get your back anytime or day. E go carry a matter for head like say na your own. Now so GoTV tanda for your side as your party for correct enjoyment. We not a tear pocket. For this GoTV Super Plus Golden Window, you fit touchlight all the 380 Premier League games, correct local shows, and better film. We day for you. Make your sharply upgrade or recharge your GoTV on top Super Plus to enjoy every today. The Super Plus Golden Window don't come out money now. No do yourself, oh. GoTV. Love it.
Thank you for staying tuned. Botswana went to the polls with high unemployment and economic hardship topmost on the minds of the voters. Uche Ugochukwu reports that the election comes just as the ruling party vies to extend its nearly 6 decades in power and hand over a second term to President Mokgweetsi Masisi.
Some of the 1 million registered voters queued for several hours before polling stations opened in a country which prides itself as Southern Africa's oldest democracy. But the same party has been in power since independence in 1966. Many residents said they are voting to change a system dominated by the ruling Botswana Democracy Party, which they believe benefits only a section of the country's 2.6 million people.
This is the day that we've been waiting for, and I want to believe things are going to change for the better.
It's my first time I'm casting my vote, and is that for something that I want, something different.
We're dealing with an IEC that is hell-bent on ensuring that we do not have free, fair and credible elections. But we make do with what we have. We've put in place our own measures to ensure that we monitor.
Botswana's vast diamond reserves, discovered just after independence from Britain, drove growth and development, lifting the largely desert country out of extreme poverty. However, a 2022 World Bank report ranks Botswana as one of the most unequal nations in the world, with 3/5 of financial assets held by the richest 10%. Reports say President Masisi's first 5-year term has seen unemployment rise to 27%, with younger people most affected, and a downturn in growth partly linked to weakened diamond sales.
Since April, we've hardly had any diamond sales. We've been surviving on the reserves we had accumulated. So we put in a huge boost, the biggest infrastructure budget in the history of this country and program, 13 billion pula. And what is its intention is to put money into, well, first to keep money in Botswana, and secondly to put money into the pockets of citizens.
The government has faced allegations of corruption, nepotism and mismanagement. While the party is not expected to fare much better this time, when results are due to be announced late Thursday, commentators have raised the prospects of a hung parliament for the first time. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
European Union promises to assist Spain as flooding in parts of the country claims at least 62 lives. Here is Uche Ugochukwu again with that story.
Spanish rescuers on Wednesday scrambled to save people trapped by surging tides of muddy water in floods that have claimed several lives in the eastern and southern regions, with more bodies still being recovered and identified. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez urged citizens not to lower their guard as emergency operations continued and pledged not to abandon victims of the disaster. EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen said Europe has pledged support for Spain.
We have activated our Copernicus satellite system to help coordinate the rescue teams, and we have already offered to activate our civil protection mechanism. In just a few months, floods have hit Central and Eastern Europe, Italy and now Spain. This is the dramatic reality of climate change.
Emergency services in the Valencia region rescued almost 200 people overnight who are now being sheltered in fire stations. Rail and air transport are severely disrupted and the high-speed lane between Valencia and Madrid remained closed. The flood toll is the deadliest in Spain since August 1996, when 86 people died in the northeastern region of Aragon, near the mountains bordering France. Meteorologists have said the latest storm was caused by cold air moving over the warm waters of the Mediterranean Sea, which produced intense rain clouds. They explained that the warming of the Mediterranean, which increases water evaporation, plays a key role in making torrential rains more severe. The downpours are expected to continue until Thursday. Scientists warn that extreme weather events such as storms are becoming more intense, last longer and occur more frequently as a result of human-induced climate change. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
We turn our attention back home, empowering our team to lead with purpose, integrity and innovation. Together, we shape a brighter future. Against this background, and in its quest to maintain excellence, the Administration and Training Directorate of the Nigerian Television Authority organized the leadership training for staff of the senior cadre. Olajide Bello reports.
A leader can never be a leader if there are no...
Leadership excellence is the art of inspiring others to achieve their full potential while fostering an environment of trust, collaboration and continuous growth. This requires a blend of vision, empathy and resilience, enabling leaders to navigate challenges with confidence and clarity by prioritizing communication and actively listening to diverse perspectives. This gathering, therefore, is for exemplary leaders to cultivate a culture where every team member feels valued and motivated. Ultimately, leadership excellence is not just about achieving goals, but about nurturing future leaders and creating a legacy of positive impact within the organization and beyond.
Emotional intelligence is not just a soft skill. It is a practical tool that enhances our communication, strengthens our resilience, and fosters respect within our teams.
With emotional intelligence, we make better decisions, we relate better with our colleagues, and at the end of the day, the organization is better for it.
To lead effectively in a volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous environment entails vision, understanding, clarity and agility.
Two important keys. Number one, vision. Number two, influence. Without those two things, forget leadership.
As the training wrapped up, participants left feeling inspired and equipped to foster deeper connections with their colleagues. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Nigeria has taken another step towards achieving a healthier population with the empowerment of communities to save lives through prevention strategies. Uche Ugochukwu reports that the National Health Promotion Day, launched in Abuja by the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, aims to achieve this goal.
The National Health Promotion Day is designed to make the people see healthcare delivery as something not confined to hospitals, but as part of everyday life in schools, markets and homes. It is focused on educating everyone on preventive health measures to avert complications.
Health promotion enables people to increase control over their own health. It covers a wide range of social and environmental interventions that are designed to benefit and protect individual people's health and quality of life while addressing and preventing root causes of health.
Nigeria continues to experience high rates of preventable diseases, malnutrition and non-communicable diseases, many of which could be alleviated through effective health promotion strategies.
The Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, appealed to the populace to key into the ongoing Know Your Number campaign across the country and generally develop health-seeking behaviors to help reduce disease burden in the country.
Yes, we're investing in primary health care. Yes, we're investing in upgrading our teaching hospitals. We're retraining frontline health workers. We've retrained under this president more than 40,000 frontline health workers, and we're doing more. We're transforming Nigeria's health system, producing the health products that will be serving Nigerians, strengthening our health security, But at the end of the day, health is something that requires whole of government and whole of society approach.
The celebration of National Health Promotion Day in Nigeria was born out of the November 2023 Council on Health meeting, which recommended several initiatives to promote health care for Nigerians. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
And just before we go, let's have a quick check at Thursday's weather prospect. We're done. Thank you for your company. I'm Ruth Aguele. Bye.